I know it's hard to believe, folks, but once again, it is that time of the month. The video where we wrap up some of the biggest stories out there, from entertainment to sports, science, and everything in between. Put it all in a nice little top 10 list for you and add a little bow and voila! You guys get what I'm saying? If not, that's alright, because today on InformOverload, we're counting down the top 10 biggest news stories of February 2021. Hopefully that made more sense than what I previously just said with the whole bow and voila. And before we get into it, guys, you know you gotta smash that like button, or else I'm probably just gonna break my camera. I won't do that. Starting us off with number 10, we got Courtside Karen. Of course, we couldn't just get through the month without having to deal with a Karen. However, this situation is particularly interesting because it involved one of the biggest athletes in North America, LeBron James. So long story short, LeBron and the Lakers traveled to Atlanta to play the Hawks, who allowed fans in the stadium at a limited capacity. This included courtside seats, which is where Juliana Carlos and her husband, who are being referred to as Courtside Karen and Steroid Ass, were sitting. Long story short, Carlos and her husband are obviously Hawks fans, and apparently her husband, Chris Carlos, specifically hates LeBron. Naturally, the two started to chirp, in which you could hear LeBron in certain clips refer to Chris as old steroid ass, and Juliana at one point also told LeBron if he talks to her husband one more time, she'll F him up. When all was said and done, Juliana and Chris would be kicked out, she would take to social media in a rage and then eventually apologize. LeBron found humor in the whole situation, but it seems the reason she was kicked out was because she lowered her mask to chirp LeBron, which is against the NBA's policy. LeBron even went on record saying they probably shouldn't have been kicked out, but it is what it is. Talk about a fun turn of events. On to number 9, Lil Uzi Vert's Diamond. Now, as you guys know, I'm not really one for the flashy stuff such as jewelry. That being said, when I heard why Lil Uzi Vert got his $24 million diamond pierced or planted into his head, I completely understood why. In his own words, I quote, "I'm Lil Uzi Vert. I'm turned up." So $24 million on a ring is the stupidest idea because I'm gonna look down and that ring ain't gonna be there. I know me. I wake up in odd places and different scenery. If I spent $24 million on diamond, I wouldn't want to just be able to slip off me either, so I understand why he got it, you know. Now, the craziest thing about this whole situation, aside from the fact that it's pretty Thanos-esque, is that he spent $24 million on a diamond. Not only is that a lot of money, but Lil Uzi even admitted the diamond is worth more than all of his cars and homes combined, and that he first started paying it off in 2017. On to number 8, Dustin Diamond passes away. Unfortunately, to start the month, the entertainment world was met with some incredibly sad news. Dustin Diamond, who was known for playing Screech on Saved by the Bell, passed away after a battle with lung cancer. It was announced on February 2nd that he had passed the day prior, with his health greatly declining during his last few days. TMZ reported that he was taken off of a breathing machine in hopes that he'd be able to get to hospice care. After being in pain all over his body back in January, Diamond admitted himself to the hospital when he was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. The passing comes just a few weeks after his first round of chemo, and as TMZ reported, he passed peacefully with his girlfriend by his side. Our condolences go out to all those affected by the loss. Now on to number 7, the weekend headlines Super Bowl 55. I mean, the Super Bowl in itself really should be one of the biggest news stories because Tom Brady once again showed the entire world why he is the greatest of all time. And I'm an Eagles fan saying that. The guy individually has more championships than any team in the league. That is not normal. I'm gonna say that again. One player has won the championship in the league more than any other team. Now, aside from that, we also need to talk about the weekend's performance, which had people talking. Some were just excited to see Canada, or Toronto more specifically, represented on one of the biggest stages in the world. Others felt the halftime show, in comparison to previous years, was a little bit of a letdown. Now, it's important to remember the weekend kind of had to work with what he had, which includes performing at a halftime show with more restrictions than normal due to our current pandemic. Still, I'm sure he wasn't all that upset, as some were comparing him to Michael Jackson, and he is finally able to get rid of all those prosthetics that he was walking around with on his face. Again, trying to convey a message to Hollywood and the media in general. It seems the weekend just can't miss. At number 6, the Mars rover. I don't think people realize how big of a deal the situation actually is. The rover named Perseverance landed on Mars in mid-February, and a week later shared an incredible image of the planet, which included a little cameo from the sun. With the attached technology, the rover was able to capture a complete 360-degree panorama image, and to no surprise, that interactive image quickly went viral on social media. The mission here is simply to just learn more about Mars, and they think they found the sweet spot with the potential to find evidence that some form of life, even if it's microbial, did exist there at some point. This will not only help us understand the planet more, but could potentially at some point many years down the line play a key factor into if we actually end up colonizing the planet. I don't know, it seems crazy now, but back in the day, as Henry Ford put it, I quote, "If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse." Sometimes we gotta just understand that we don't know everything, and as ludicrous as living on Mars may seem, who knows what happens in the next 100 years. Speaking of space, at 5, we got Daft Punk's retirement. This was a pretty big deal for a lot of millennials, as we grew up listening to Daft Punk. Odds are you know some of their hits, which include tracks such as Around the World, One More Time, Technologic, Get Lucky, among many others. Posted an 8-minute long YouTube video on February 22nd titled Epilogue, which at the time of this recording has over 21 million views. The electronic duo, who originated in Paris, officially announced their retirement, at least as a group. Not a single word is spoken between the two, nor do I really want to ruin the video if you haven't seen it, but long story short, they made it very clear that they are finished. There's been no explanation since as to why, nor are people really expecting one. I think it was something that a lot of us never really thought about, but all knew at some point would inevitably happen. Starting off in 1993 and finding incredible success over a 28-year career, it's safe to say there will never be another duo like Daft Punk, but thankfully, we got to experience their incredible talent for nearly 3 decades. On to number 4, Bobby Shmurda released from prison. Now, as we know, the internet appears to be as large as the universe in the sense that something can go viral and still so many other things have happened on your timeline, you may be the last to hear about it. So naturally, to no surprise, it seems there's a part of the internet that is over the moon. Bobby Shmurda, who just finished serving 6 years in prison, has finally been released. There's another part of the internet who I'm sure has no idea who he is, and that's why I love it here. You can find anything and everything. Now, if you don't know who Bobby is, that's alright, and if you do, well, I'm sure you're excited. In a nutshell, Shmurda rose to international fame back in 2014 with his hit single, Hot Person. He uses a different word. I'm sure you guys can figure it out. The song would reach number 6 on the Billboard charts and get him a deal with Epic Records, who he would release his debut EP through on November 10th, 2014. Being a good friend of the Migos, Quavo, there were rumors a collaborative tape of the two was in the works. Things were looking good for Shmurda, and then on December 18th, 2014, the NYPD arrested and charged Bobby, as well as a handful of his friends and fellow rappers, under the belief they were planning to murder someone, possession of weapons, and reckless endangerment. Doing the complete opposite of 6ix9ine, Shmurda pled guilty, refused to take a plea deal, which would have meant throwing his friends under the bus, and served his time. Now that he's been released from jail, the hip-hop community and fans of Shmurda are over the moon and hoping to hear new music soon. At number 3, Jeff Bezos steps down. When news broke that our boy Jay Bay was stepping down from the position of head honcho, aka CEO of Amazon, people were shocked, and for good reason. No one saw it coming. Over the course of 2020 alone, Bezos became the richest man, with his net worth surging into the 100 billions. In one day, the guy made 13 billion. So why he would step down from making more money than the actual mint, which prints money, actually makes in a day? Because when you're that rich, the number doesn't even matter. What can you do with 10 billion that you can't do with a billion? At some point, it really doesn't matter. But it seems Jeff, who is still remaining within the company as they've created a new title just for him, wants to focus on other ventures. These ventures include the Day One Fund, whose focus is to provide opportunity through a commitment of $2 billion both educationally and to those experiencing homelessness. There's also Bezos Earth Fund, which is focused on getting clean energy, water, air, and land to all those around the world. All in all, the guy is staying busy while also maintaining a pretty big role in Amazon. This was more of a formality than anything, it seems, as he's likely still going to be calling a lot of the shots. Number 2, Tiger Woods car crash. On February 24th, the official Tiger Woods Twitter page would post a statement confirming Tiger had been in a car crash. Immediately, people were unsure of the severity, with reports that his car toppled over numerous times and that the jaws of life were needed to get him out. People assumed the worst until there was an update he was awake and had surgery to repair the damage sustained to his leg. All in all, as of now, it seems Tiger is expected to make a full recovery, but he had to have a metal rod inserted into his leg along with some screws and pins to hold everything together. If he'll ever golf professionally again isn't even a thought right now. I think everyone is just happy he was able to make it out alive. Rumors have also claimed he was potentially intoxicated, however, the LA County Sheriff confirmed that was not the case. Now at number 1, Gorilla Glue Girl. Tessica Brown, who's likely now better known as Gorilla Glue Girl, went viral on TikTok after she posted a clip of herself on February 3rd, admitting her hair had been stuck to her head for a month. In the clip, which currently has over 32 million views, Tessica admits although she normally uses Got2b glue spray, she was out, so instead she used Gorilla Glue. From that point on, she realized she made a mistake, as after washing her hair 15 times and having it still not move, she realized she's in trouble. When all was said and done, Tessica would end up getting a free surgery from Dr. Michael Obeng, who performed for 4 hours. A GoFundMe was set up for the surgery, asking for $1,500, but would raise over $23,000, with funds coming in even after the surgery took place. Tessica said all the funds would be going to Dr. Obeng's charity. Now, as of now, GoFundMe is investigating the page, as people have claimed she purposely did this for money or clout, and others saying it's a fraudulent account. As of now, Tessica can't access the funds, but we'll see how things play out. And there you guys have it for the top 10 biggest news stories of February 2021. Did I leave something out? Let me know down below, and be sure to check out next month's top 10 stories. For now, let's reply to some comments from the video. TikTok star Zoe Laverne confirms she's pregnant. Carla Bastillo said she doesn't deserve a baby. She's probably faking it, but who knows? Like I said, she's like the Danielle Kahn of TikTok. I feel like maybe she's faking it, maybe not. I have no idea. Tinkerbell said, I feel so sorry for the baby. It's not even born yet and has already been dragged into drama. Yes, I agree. And that's kind of something that people need to keep in mind when talking about like Kim and Kanye and all these celebrities. When they have kids, it's like you're talking about their parents. Kim's daughter, North, when people are like, she didn't paint that. These are like grown people like bullying a child, making fun of her. Which like on the internet, maybe we think it's funny, but like if it wasn't a celebrity, it was a normal person, that'd be like a criminal offense. So I don't understand why there's like this, because they have money? It doesn't make sense to me. Veronica M said, I'm sorry for saying this, but what would have happened if the roles were reversed? That she was 13 and he was 19. Well, I'm not gonna say much on it. I think we all know what would have happened, but again, maybe not, because this guy, I don't even know the story, on TikTok, Lopez or something like that, is being accused of the same thing. I think Tony Lopez, something Lopez, I don't even know his name. I don't really care about the TikTok drama, to be honest with you guys. But like, I don't know. Until criminal charges are pressed, nothing really happens. When when drama that's like a very serious criminal offense happens on social media sites, as we've seen with Onision, until it becomes like a legitimate criminal offense, it's just like used for clout and it's just used for views, which I think is awful. But hey, welcome to the world we live in. All right, guys, that's all for this one. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein, and we'll see you guys soon.